borders being closed to all non-essential traffic. We learned that today, that announcement made this morning by the Prime Minister and U.S. President Donald Trump. Paul Johnson is live for us at the Peace Arch crossing right now with more on what it means and who's restricted from going across. Paul.
Hey Chris, take a look at the border here behind me right now. This is going into Canada. I just counted 4 cars waiting to cross into Canada. This at 10 after 6 on a sunny Wednesday afternoon, or Wednesday evening rather. This is what a global pandemic looks like. This hasn't happened since 9/11, and this time the path to reopening the border is much less clear.
It is a little freaky, but I understand why they're doing it.
Most of the traffic Wednesday was this kind. Americans and Canadians crossing back into their home countries to ride out the pandemic. All of them are being welcomed home and will continue to be. Travelers like these, though, will get turned around.
We came here to buy Indian groceries, but they don't let us to go.
Both Canada and the United States will temporarily restrict all non-essential travel across the Canada-US border.
There is simply no way of calculating the long-term impact of a border closure, simply because there's no meaningful precedent in recent history. The only realistic rule of thumb is, the longer it's closed, the harder it will be.
It is obviously incredibly important for BC's economy, for Canada's economy. The movement of goods and people across that border is essential to our economy, so this is going to have a significant impact.
Sadly, some travelers are also finding out that a trip that's essential to them doesn't meet the government's definition of that word.
I'm married to a Canadian, and we're planning on hunkering down in Canada, and obviously now we can't go back and forth. I was hoping to go home to Bellingham to pick up some extra stuff like my laptop, but I can't do that now because there's no guarantee that I'll be able to return to Canada.
But amidst all the disruption and uncertainty, the empty border lanes at Peace Arch gave us this reminder that some things don't change. Check this out, Homeland Security. And one question that's come up, a lot of people have been asking, if you know your geography, what will be the status of Point Roberts? That's the tiny American enclave that's right next to Tsawwassen. It's separated from the rest of the United States by water and by Canada. People who live there are totally dependent on getting their supplies from Canada. I talked to an official in Washington State today who told me the talks are underway with the Canadian government to try to sort out some kind of a solution for them, and one might ultimately include some kind of a sea lift from the rest of Whatcom County to get them supplies by water, if it goes that far.